crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells, and sweet sweet noodles. Wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Guys, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. We are so excited to have you be a part of us as normally on our Saturday night evening with you guys.
Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties, but I always explain to people, even on the job that I work, technology has a mind of its own.
Absolutely.
We have no control over it. When you know what? 2020, that should be telling all of us human beings there is no control over anything that we can't control.
Well, hold that thought, because we're gonna get into that. But let's welcome all of my guests first, and then we'll get into that.
Well, we had to let them know, because a lot of people are waiting and they're still, and we apologize.
Yes.
But, it is what it is. But we welcome you to our show.
Yes.
And it is The Truth Behind the Truth with our authenticity.
Our authenticity, absolutely.
Authenticity.
And the three models, guys.
Yes.
Love your creator, love yourself, and then love humanity.
That's
which is a problem in the White House with that. But we'll get into that just for a moment.
Well, let's discuss about this COVID situation.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Now, the COVID.
Hold on. We got to welcome everybody first. We ain't welcome YouTube. We ain't welcome the Instagram. We got to welcome people.
Well, they already know we're here.
It's okay.
We're here. I'm ready to get into it.
But, I want to welcome you guys to the YouTube family. Those as he said, thank you for being patient with us with the technical difficulties that we had, putting the show together this evening. But you're going to enjoy everything with that. And our soon to be Instagram family, Facebook family, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I see the numbers are going up. You're liking and sharing. Yeah. Beautiful. We love that. Okay. And subscribing. They're going up. Keep sharing and liking, getting people to be a part of this wonderful movement of authenticity.
Yes.
We're really trying to change the face, which we are. We are changing the face of talk shows. Okay. We are. You got these two handsome guys right here, every week, giving you smiles and great advice. Yes. We have been we've been in the middle of our actor symposium. Okay.
Yes.
And tonight we have two wonderful actors that are going to be on the show tonight. Miss Heather Place and Mr. Omar Madden. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, when you hear about them tonight, you're going to be really overjoyed, as their experiences and what they've done. And we've got a lot of we'll get into the topics and then we have a lot of feedback about people saying, why were you doing shows about actors? You remember in the different comments we got. Well, the reason why, and you can elaborate on this as well, reason why is that we wanted to allow you to see transparency of people that are a part of the industry, that they're just like you. Okay, they go through the same issues, they go through the same struggles, and their ideas of life. And a lot of times actors don't have an opportunity to voice their platforms.
And number one, acting is close to our hearts as well.
Right,
that's one of the reasons why we had the Actors Symposium anyway, because that's how we first met, through an acting class.
Right.
And acting is an art form that both of us, we talk about all the time. So it was, I think for most of our audience, it was like really coming left field with whatever we were coming with the Actors Symposium, but it came with a purpose.
Yes.
Because if you're not into acting, but know anybody who is an actor, this is the show that we will inspire that person to look at it and understand that, acting is just not a job. It's not just a money scheme or money. It is a sacrifice.
Yes.
And plus it comes with let's just say it comes with a foundation that needed to be told and
Absolutely,
showed, you know,
absolutely.
when it comes down to why these people are doing
Right.
this, you know, art form.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just not you just picking up a script and just
Absolutely.
you know, going
Absolutely.
and remembering it.
Absolutely.
It's more to the game than just that.
Absolutely.
So,
you know, and guys, this is why we started it. You know, we broke it down in different phases, and we encourage you to go back and look at the previous shows. We had, you know, some of great acting coaches in Atlanta. That was a part of it in the discussion to kind of give you some theory behind that. But here's the thing: even if you're not an actor, okay, you can learn from the process of that because there's authenticity that these people have been speaking of. You know, number one, and if you're a public speaker, I mean, if that's a part of your life, if you're a teacher, if you get in front of, if anytime you're getting in front of anybody, even in your everyday life, you are what? Acting.
That's right.
Okay, because you are a different person when you're at home than when you're at work. So you are acting, you know, and most of the time you're really in, as an acting skill, you're in improv. Okay, because you're responding to a situation that's being presented to you at the given time. You have to respond to it. So you got to think on your feet in order to get the best response. So looking at this from what we put together in this, we really hope that you do go back and get really, you know, inspired by it all and listen to what these actors have poured out to you. And one other point about that, we will be doing dual shows on December 12th and December 13th.
yes.
Regular show on December 12th and December 13th will be the conclusion of the symposium where all of our actors will be back and with a great special guest. So there's going to be a big Zoom on all of them, you know, conversing, sharing other things with you guys as well. Something we put together. It's a great show, guys.
Right.
So get prepared, get tuned in, get your popcorn, get your wine, get your beer, you know, get your cognac, you know, or whatever you need. But go sit back and enjoy that particular big Zoom that we're going to put together for that, you know, as well.
Yes.
But anyway, last point: go to the go to the Facebook page and get your T-shirt. Okay, Truth Behind the Truth T-shirt. Okay, we're not wearing it tonight, but you know about it. Okay, just scroll down. There's a lot of information to pass through, but it's right there. It's right there with the PayPal. Okay, click on it, get it. They're going fast. We want you to get one. It's the holidays and give them out as gifts.
That's right.
Okay. Love you guys. All right, let's talk about a little bit who you wanted to talk about. That idiot that we're gonna go right on the show and bring our wonderful guests in tonight.
The COVID. Let's just talk about the COVID that's going on. That still is going on. This pandemic.
Right.
You know, you know, we're now going through not a lockdown.
Right. Not quite. Hopefully, we don't
not
get
even
that
a home and shelter, which is what we need at this point. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, we need to go through a home and shelter.
Okay.
Because I still think that people are not getting the ideal or really taking this pandemic seriously.
Probably not.
Which I do blame this Cheeto man
for
because because this started under his watch.
Right.
But the fact is as human beings, it shows our humanity.
Yes.
I mean, because what's happening to humanity? What is going on with our humanity when we don't want to be our brother's keeper?
Absolutely. Say that again. That's such a good point. You know, I mean, I don't know where we have lost that in society. I mean,
we have lost our humanity.
Yeah, true. I mean, there's ways we could probably dissect that and looking at different levels about it. But just going to the root of it, why have we lost that humanity, guys? Why have we lost the true essence of reaching out to someone? You know, how did we become such a selfish nation? You know, and I think
selfish society.
And when I mean selfish, I'm putting, you know, America as a whole, because our behaviors, I think, are what dictates what we're receiving. Not necessarily you and I, and probably, you know, normally guests that look at our show. But even if you have been guilty of that, you know, and watch your show, it's time to make a change. Okay, it really is. But you look at just how this pandemic has really just overtaken us. You know what I'm saying? But our attitudes are like, well, that can never happen to us. You know, and we're always critical about the other nations and the things that they go through, you know, the process. But here's the thing. Most of those nations have gotten this situation under control and are finding a way to help their humanity, and that humanity is helping everybody get healed from this, you know?
But we're not disciplined. We're not disciplined like our 4 generations. And I'm talking about the Great Depression generation. I'm talking about World War II generation.
Right.
I'm talking about generation of the Civil Rights Movement. We're not a disciplined generation.
Right.
We have too many leaders that are going around telling us what is real, what is not real. And it's like at the end of the day, it's been thrown in our face. Some of us who want to say, well, I don't want to wear my mask because it's my right and my freedom as an American not to. And I say sometimes to myself, well, okay, then that's fine. That's wonderful that you know that you have the right and the freedom. But what about that person who has lupus?
Well, there you go.
What about that person who's going through cancer or asthma,
right.
who don't have the freedom and the right like you, whose antibodies is strong enough to fight this pandemic, but you're standing next to them, breathing on them, knowing that you don't know, we don't know that they are going through it. But at the end of the day, those people are dying, and our elderly are dying. You know one thing, and I want to go here too, and this is probably going to be as real as that. Somebody said that in America, being old is not one of the most popular things to be. It's not. Being an old person in America is not one of the most popular, and they are always the overlooked. Right, exactly. The overlooked generation. And I didn't think of, I never thought about that. You know, being old in this country, you can go to any other country and they are well taken care of and they are celebrated. But in this country, we do not celebrate our elders. And that, to me, to be honest, that is very telling. Especially on our government. That's true. On our government, they don't take care of the elders. They hardly take care of our veterans and the homeless. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. But go ahead. Let's go and move on a little bit.
Yeah,
but please wear your mask. That's the only thing about this.
Wear your damn mask.
Wear your damn mask, because there are people who are out there who are suffering through this. Absolutely. And you know, at the end of the day, if you don't want to wear your mask, then you know what?
Just don't go out in public.
Don't go out in public. Just don't be afraid if I throw Clorox in.
I know, right? Yeah. But moving on, we're just going to touch on this and we're going to get into the show tonight. This idiocy that this exiting pseudo whatever it was that's been occupying the White House for 4 years. I'm gonna just say, get your ass out of the house, okay? Please. All right, because this is absolutely ridiculous to send this country to this, and I read this, and then we'll leave it at this point if you don't have a point. I was reading just a little something on my phone today, and his campaign is now being sued by black voters in Detroit for trying to take their vote from him, and they're probably going to win that for lots of money. And I was so glad to see that.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him. I mean, because what he was trying to do is take their vote, and they're saying that absolutely that is not going to happen.
But America should be suing him because of the fact that you are fighting a democratic civic duty as a civilian of this country. Not only but a citizen of this country. I'm sorry. We have that right to go out and vote and make our vote count. Absolutely. And you fighting against that is telling me that you don't respect my right as a citizen of this country to vote you out. That in itself is very insulting. And it should be treated as a criminalized action against this country as a terrorist. I feel like he's a terrorist. When you go up against something that is so older than you, that was written in the Constitution as that right of a citizen of this country to vote people in and to vote people out, because it's in the Constitution to do so. We don't have kings and queens and dictators and autocrats.
That's what.
But if you want
that's
that,
1776. Just avoid that.
But if there's some Americans who want that now, there are some Americans that probably do want an autocrat. They do.
Okay, then pack up. Okay. What's his name?
Putin is very well.
Putin is waiting on you.
He's waiting.
Okay, so he'll take you in and put your butt. Okay, but anyway, we're gonna move on.
We're gonna move on, but just know that is a terror. I feel that's in the actions of somebody who's doing that. To be honest with you, I feel like that's more of a what they call a coup. Because if you know what a coup is, it's very destructive when you are working within the government to change this the system. Because I feel like it does make me cringe to see this, and nobody's taking this serious. It's not entertainment media. This is serious business.
That's true. That's true.
This is how most dictators make their way into controlling everything. They change it up from the inside.
That's true. Be careful, people. Okay, I'm telling you,
this is not entertainment. This is real life.
And then, in Trump supporters, if you bypass this show, y'all need to wake up. Okay, I'm serious. What is it? Those saying, "Wake up and smell the coffee" because your toast is burning. Y'all need to wake up. I'm serious.
The last 4 years.
I don't care if you are a Republican, whatever. Hey, you and I, we on this show, we have conservative ideas and values. But at the end of the day, you're still a separate American. You're a separate entity, and moving something that is not moving a nation in the right way, you need to let it go.
And with this selfishness, millions of people are still dying.
Absolutely.
During this pandemic, millions of Americans are dying.
Right.
And in the selfishness of one person who cannot see the bigger picture and who clearly don't read the room.
Right.
And he is not the only one. There are some people out there who don't read rooms. They don't care about situations that are and circumstances that are going on around them, which makes him a narcissist in a way.
Right.
Number one, I think, and that's one of the things I wish that is really what in the American society that we live in. Narcissism is the key to what is killing our society.
Wow. But I said that later on another show.
Yeah, we're gonna talk next year. Now we got more to talk about.
I know, right?
That is the number one that is killing our society and killing this youthful generation and the social media generation.
Exactly.
Keep it moving.
Gotcha. So we want to say this before we go to commercial break real quick. I just want to say to you guys is that, we have our new president, we have our new vice president. I'm so happy to have them a part of what's going to make the change in America. Mm-hmm. But the number one thing, please keep in mind, is they cannot do it by themselves. Okay, you need to start on your local level. Whether it's attending a PTA meeting or be a virtual PTA meeting, dealing in your school.
Be
engaged on your state and local level. Be engaged. Look what's going on. Pay attention to your courtrooms. Pay attention to how the local legislation is handling your community and the people in your community. And if there's some things that are not right, get there and be the voice that will institute the change to make it happen. All right,
I'll set up a new movement.
There you go. We got to get into that later.
I know.
Okay. But anyway, so after this commercial break, guys, it's going to be an exciting night. We got the duo tonight. We got two wonderful actors tonight with us tonight. We're so excited to have them to be a part of the show.
Yes.
Miss Heather Place will be first with us, and then afterwards, Heather Place, we call him Doctor. Well, Mr. Omar Madden. Okay. Two wonderful actors. But enjoy them, guys, and we will be right back after this commercial break.
Yeah.
still have to be one, right?
I did start out as a child actor, and then I just kept going. I did theater all growing up, and then when I entered the University of Georgia as a freshman, I was a declared drama major, and I had intended to stick with theater. I had dreams of Broadway, and my freshman year, a television series, the 20th Century Fox television series, came to UGA and shot on location on campus, and I got cast as a featured extra and appeared in 3 episodes, and fell in love with filmmaking at that point.
Yeah.
So the name of the series was Breaking Away, and it was based on the indie film Breaking Away with Dennis Christopher and Dennis Quaid. It had come out in the 70s, and this was the early 80s, and this was a television series starring Sean Cassidy, who at the time was my biggest crush. I had his poster on my wall in my bedroom growing up. And then I got to work with him, so it was a dream come true, really.
Wow.
Oh, the brother John, was it John Cassidy?
There was Sean Cassidy, and his brother was David
Cassidy. David Cassidy.
Who was another cut, because he was in the Partridge Family. And Sean was in the Hardy Boys, so I was working on both those Cassidy boys.
Exactly. Wow.
Now his mother is Rue McClanahan, right? The actress Shirley Jones is David's stepmother and Sean's mother. Got you. Trying to connect the dots because
Jack Cassidy, their dad, was married twice, so they're they're actually half brothers. Yeah.
You know, I'm just not to change something, but I'm just looking at I'm just thinking about. I always said who Heather favor. If they ever do the Shirley Jones story, it's yours.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? And I kept saying all this time I've known. I said, why does Heather look so familiar?
Oh, I love her.
And I'm saying, really, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, just the resemblance to Shirley Jones is there.
Oh, thank you.
And now that you think about it, it just dawned on me. I kept thinking when we first met, I kept saying, who does he look like? And then and at the same time, and then probably seeing your work over the years, and then when you kind of finally put the faith in the person's work, and it could be that as well. But I'm saying it now because we talk about, the Jones legacy, that, yeah, exactly, Shirley Jones. Now, well, hey,
I would love that. I would love to play her in a biopic or something.
Exactly. So we're gonna put that in the universe, that will come your way.
There you go. I like that.
Exactly. So started at UGA. Wow, that is a good. So did you? So what deviated you from theater? Or was it just that? Did you still like both, or did you?
I did both. I did both all the way through. I continued theater at UGA, and then I moved to Atlanta after college and got an agent, and just started doing film and television and commercials and. Live industrial films, anything I could do to support myself.
Gotcha.
The goal was to be a working actor, and when I wasn't acting, I was waiting tables. So as most of us have done,
Right, exactly.
What is interesting, so you did all of this in Atlanta, Georgia, because you hear a lot of stories of inspiring actors or actresses. They moved to California, but you stayed further south.
I did. I stayed in Atlanta. Now back in the day, I would go to pilot season out in LA every year.
Okay, gotcha.
So when it was pilot season, I was out in LA, crashed on my best friend's futon. He's a writer. Her husband's a writer, and I would go out there and I would stay with them and do pilots, auditions. In fact, this is an interesting story. I auditioned for the role of Phoebe for Friends when it was a pilot.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember so clearly because I went to the audition and she was talking about, she said, well, the working title is Friends. They're probably going to change it. But it's just about a bunch of friends who hang out at a coffee shop in New York, and you'd be the blonde girl, a little kooky, And so, I mean, back when Friends was really just being developed. I had an opportunity to read for it. So
You're out of here. Oh, wow.
I could have
Wow.
been TV.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
But Lisa Kudrow's wonderful, you know, so
exactly.
can't take anything away from her, but it's just
Right.
you never know when you're auditioning
True.
what the project is going to be. And
True.
like that, the longevity of that show is amazing.
Right, exactly. That is so, you know, that reminds me. I mean, I think one of my earlier auditions back in Atlanta was, well, I did know for what it was for, but normally when these auditions occur, they didn't tell the actors what they were for. And when I had auditioned for The Walking Dead, but I got caught. It was such a huge blessing because how it happened. I think I just started wanting to break out of my acting career back in Atlanta. This has been almost 8 years ago now at this point. And I had, you know, I started as a background actor, everybody trying to get in the door, you know. And I was submitting, and I did. And there's a major story behind it before this happened, which happened both, but I shared on different shows. But I remember I was submitting for work, you know, as a background actor, you know, and I think it was Extra Casting Atlanta. I had built a relationship with them. Well, anyway, long story the story, I had submitted for one. It was like early in the morning. So I got a response back, and they said, "Can you be in Sonoya, Georgia, you know, tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.?" And I said, "Sure," but I didn't know what it was at that point. But at that time, everybody on the planet wanted to work on The Walking Dead, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So I said, "Well, sure, I'll be there." And then Patrick, he emailed me. He said, "For The Walking Dead." I said, "Oh my God, no way!" You know. So I got on set and I made such an impact with Greg Nicotero that I came back as a couple of featured zombies, okay, and I ended up being the major featured zombie that was in season 4, where just before Lori has the baby,
Yeah.
I was a featured zombie that chased her to the prison.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
Maybe.
exactly, I know, right? And then he moved me to one of the hazmat zombies that I get to destroy with all of the, you know, the from that episode. Then there was an audition, and I was so great on set, you know, met everybody, you know how you do, you know, and
Yeah.
so it was the audition for when the governor was, you know, being introduced.
Oh wow.
So myself and 2 other individuals had got at Patrick said, "Greg Nicotero wants to see you for an audition." I was like, "No way." So it came down to 2 of us, and I unfortunately didn't get the part. But the only reason I didn't get the part was because the guy that which is T-Love, he was a grip on the show. So he auditioned because he knew everybody a little bit more, so he was giving him the role. But I was so honored the fact that all these people going all this way to give him the, you know, just even to get auditioned for Walking Dead, you know, it was a great show to walk on. But it just kind of reminded me of what you're saying about you know, with my friends, you know. And I kept always, can I get back? Can I get back? That was a great show to work on, regardless of zombie or principal or not, you know. It was a good show.
That's so cool. I didn't know you worked on that show. That's amazing.
I did like 4 episodes of season 4.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of stuff out there in the background, you know, that
You never know, and I think background artistry or extras, however you want to describe it, is a great way to get started because it puts you on set, and if you make an impact, you can get upgraded. And I got upgraded from a specialty extra to a SAG principal in one of my early films, and it happens, you know. So I would encourage anyone who's interested in this business, you know, to get on a set as a background artist and learn and pay attention and make friends and network. And oftentimes, if you're right there front and center and paying attention, you know, the director will crook his finger and say, "Hey, how about you, Blondie? Why don't you come over here? And I'm going to give you this line, or I'm going to ask you to do this." And then, you know, boom, SAG eligible.
Exactly. You know, I tried to do the blonde part, but it didn't work too well. You know, I tried to do exactly. I tried to do the blonde follicles, but you know.
A lot of people seem to forget that when they go into films. You know, I was reading up on some Hollywood greats. You know, people from Clark Gable to Joan Crawford to all these people who started out as background actors.
Yes.
And they built up their resume. Well, they built up, like you said, network. They knew people, and finally they became, these leading ladies and leading men.
Right.
But it's just the fact that networking is always the key in whatever business that we're in. You must meet people and try to figure your way around situations to get yourself to that focus, that key focus, which is what you're trying, which is what your goal is. But for you, it's theater. Is it much easier for you in theater or in film, or it's just an equal? Is it just equal on the surface? Right. It's just easy to just get into both of them. Is it in your experience as an actress?
It's all acting, but I will say there are differences. I think with film, you have to learn to be more subtle and more cinematic.
Yes,
and with theater, it is about projecting and it's about physicality, and so there are differences. And I have to say I love them both. Theater's where I grew up. Theater's really always going to be my first love. But the moment I walked onto that set, that Breaking Away set when I was 18 years old, I kind of knew there was no turning back. I felt like I had, run away and join the circus. And there was this whole new world I was being exposed to. And I remember watching everybody from the grips to the gaffers to the DP to the first AD. And I was fascinated by how many people it took to make this episode of this television show. And, it was in that moment that I decided, although I'll always be an actor first, I wanted to become a filmmaker.
Wow.
And about 14 years ago, I started becoming a content creator and a producer and a casting director and started wearing more hats, mainly because as an actor, I didn't want to sit around and wait for the phone to ring. I wanted to get out there and create content so that I could work too. So, with indie film and like the web series that we all worked on together, it's about creating content and putting yourself out there. And that leads to more opportunities, You
struck a great point with that, even with myself, because, when I got in this business, I really dove in head first. I didn't know where I was going to land in the process because, when something is a part of your life the whole time, and you wanted to develop it, but you weren't in the right places, quote unquote, Even to the point of being out here in LA and not realizing what I had when I lived out in LA in my 20s, and so much that was around me, but that's a whole other story, at that point. But I did want to bring it back and say the filmmaking, the show making, and I remember that I was looking on Facebook, and it was 5 years ago, I had built this organism, I would say, of developing a talk show. And I mean, I was in development of a male talk show that it was going to be better than The Real, better than The View, whole nine yards and all of this. And it was very diverse. And we were getting ready for pilots, and we shot scenes, and down to the point it was just so much favor. When I'm saying that, I put together a whole film crew. Literally, it was like I had people that were gaffing and assistant directors, and whole nine yards. And they were all friends, but they were all part of this. And then all of a sudden the bottom fell out. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? At the end of the day, what happened to this? My co-director had a major car accident, and just the list of things just started, and to this day, those group of gentlemen are still reaching out to me. God, we love this show. When are you going to do this show? So, here it is. Truth behind the truth has developed into something was going. So, sometimes things have to fall in one aspect, but you have a desire in your heart. And I'm saying this to all of us, as well as the actors that are watching our show, that you've got to find within you to find a way to keep pushing past. And if something comes along that ignites it, and then once, like I said earlier, once we get to Sony Studios, Truth Behind Truth may expand to having, 2 other gentlemen on the stage with us. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, or 5 other gentlemen, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And really give a strong male point of view to the talk show world, So, hey, I'm putting out there in the universe again. You know,
without the universe. And perseverance really is key, I think, no matter what you do.
True.
Just have to keep persevering, and it may not happen exactly the way you imagine, but if you're going, it will happen.
Exactly, it will. I mean, and that's the thing about this. I think a lot of people really give up in the idea of pursuing this, you know, because it's not easy.
It's not.
It's
But
not easy. We all know that. It's not.
Yes.
It's not easy, you know. I you got a point.
Well, it was just the fact that, you know, you have these reality shows that, you know, you think about, for example, American Idol or some other shows that like to perpetuate it being an easy shot if you have the talent. But you would be surprised how many talents have been passed by over the years, and it didn't take them to later years to just hit that notch, to hit that pot of gold. You know, it's just so crazy. You know, you think we watch the Golden Girls a lot, all the time.
Oh, I love that stuff. Yeah.
So you think about all four women, right? All these 4 women that have been in the industry for years. I think it was even who was it? My goodness, Sophia and B. Arthur, and Rue and Betty White. All of them had connections, had the same connections, but it didn't almost take until that one show that they did not think would last, but it lasted for a long time, even after it had ended. Right. But it's because people don't understand that perseverance those 4 women had to make it to that point in their careers. It's wonderful. But getting back to you, Heather, but you know what? Not only you been an actress, but you are also a founding member of the Falling Tree Films, and you're also an executive producer and managing partner of 4 Leaf Features in Atlanta, which is based in Atlanta. So when going back to what you were saying about being an actress and wanting to expand your horizons into making films, where did the idea of coming up with this? You know, what was the breaking point in you? Was it just did you get tired of just having to audition a lot, or was it just something that a person came to you and said, you know what, why don't you do your own thing? What happened?
Well, it's kind of a combination. Like I was saying earlier, I decided that in order to keep working, it made sense to become a content creator. And if I could create content for myself to act in, then I could be both a producer and an actor on project. And with Falling Tree Films, it kind of evolved out of an indie filmmaker group meetup. We used to meet at Fellini's Pizza.
I remember Fellini's.
This is Action Indie Film Meetup Group would meet at Fellini's, and we would brainstorm about projects. And then finally, we did our first short film. And it was during that short that we had a tree that was part of the set. And every time someone would yell action, the tree would fall into the shot. I mean, it just kept happening.
Wow.
You know, it was like the tree kept falling and falling.
Yeah.
And then by the time we finished this little short, we said, well, we have to be called Falling Tree Films. I mean, that just has to be.
Gotcha. Oh, wow.
And it stuck. And so we did several shorts and just kept going. And then the female producing partners and I decided to branch off and start developing features.
Okay.
So Pat Roberts and I started out both as trees, Falling Tree Films.
Yes.
And now we're part of 4 Leaf Features, and we got our name because we all find 4-leaf clovers all the time, which is very
I love that.
So we're an all-female production company.
Okay.
Pat Roberts, myself, and Kim Schroff, and we're 4 Leaf Features, and we've got 2 feature films in development, Alive and Forgotten Word. And so now we are raising funding and casting and location scouting and pre-production and all of that.
Wow, it's so you know, I always get so goosebumpy when I hear about being a part of the productive process of this industry. I love it so much. He can tell you. I mean, even just the things that I'm hoping, or not hoping, that are gonna put in a place for where Truth Behind the Truth is, and it's, you know, in developing our commercial sets and with the help of our great engineer and co-producer, you know, of the show. We're just where we're going. I get such goosebumpy about it. I love this industry, and like you said, every day I say, God, please make it a way that this will pay the bills and give me more.
Right.
Real
Right.
soon. That is
Creating abundance through our
Exactly.
heart is the goal,
Exactly.
right?
Oh my God. Because I'm tired of going to somebody else's 9 to 5.
It's like 12 hours a day, 6 days.
Exactly. They're 9 to 5 or 3 to 6 or 2 to 11 or whatever it is.
It's a crazy business, but it's in our blood and we love it. So we've got to keep going and figure out how we can pay the bills with it and how we can be relevant and how we can continue to create product and keep going,
Exactly. We're going to break for a commercial real quick, and then we're going to bring the clip of, I think, of your reel, and then we're going to talk about some of the work that you did on your reel and what we loved when we saw it, okay?
Oh,
So we're going to break for a quick commercial, and then we're going to bring your reel up, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right, we'll be right back, guys.
Green good ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and sweet Sue's with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Let's roll this sleeve down so that everybody doesn't have to see it, okay?
No, I'm fine.
Don't be silly. Why would anybody want these?
We can hear you.
Yes. We're gonna start that over because the banner was going under.
Oh, was it? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's roll this sleeve down so that everybody doesn't have to see it, okay?
No, I'm fine.
Don't be silly. Why would anybody want these wounds to show on their body?
As long as I got bruises, then I don't get new ones.
Mr. Grimes, I have read through your proposal, and currently those arrangements are not going to work.
What is she talking about, Charles? What did you do?
But out, Ruth. I don't understand.
I saved a place just for you.
You're the best. I've literally been craving this all week.
Well, everyone just left, so eat up.
Who's everyone? I mean, this looks a little small to be yours.
I know your mama taught you better than that. Eat your eggs. Stay away from this precious girl stuff. Because I know you're going to be famous someday, and then that way, I would always have something personal. Oh, God, thank you. Oh, Eddie. Thank you so much. Thank you. You are so lucky, Shawnee. I'm going to go check on your order. I'll be right back. I remember Frank was always trying to make people laugh. He was so happy when they asked him to give the announcements at church last month.
Yeah.
He thought the congregation was laughing at his jokes, and I didn't have the heart to tell him that they were laughing because his pants were unzipped.
Let's see what comes on.
Wow, that was so awesome. I just love that, that really pull up the zipper.
We're unzipped.
Exactly. Oh my God, that was too much. And you're such a motivated person in your anger moment. Oh my God.
Oh,
When
okay.
you would have slapped the shit out of your husband. What was that film from?
Are you talking about Tiger Lily when Alpha? Yeah, Alpha is a great actor to work with. Alpha and I've worked together many times.
Yes.
That was an independent film directed by Byron Conrad Irwin. It was shot in Atlanta.
Okay.
And it was a very long short, really the longest short you can have, 45 minutes. And it was about overcoming cancer. So it's a very intense film, but ultimately uplifting.
Okay.
And the journey of that film is really interesting. It took us 7 years to finish it. I was originally just cast as an actor, and actually I was cast in a smaller role. I was cast as a nurse.
Yes.
And the character of Ruth, who is the housekeeper to Alfred.
Yes.
That was that scene that you saw the two of us going at it. And then Ruth, the original actress, dropped out, so I was upgraded to one of the supporting leads. And then we shot a bunch of scenes, and then the film just sat on a shelf for years.
No way.
There were creative differences among some of the producers, and then I came on board as a producer to help get it finished.
Okay.
And we went back and shot some more scenes
Okay.
and some flashbacks, and we were very creative with voiceovers to get the film completed after 7 years, and now it's available on Amazon with proceeds going to cancer charities.
Wow. Awesome. Wow.
So it's a very inspirational journey because we were talking about perseverance earlier. At any point, we could have all just given up on it.
Yes. Yes.
But it was a beautiful story. It was a story that needed to be told.
Okay.
And so over a 7-year period, we just persevered until we got it finished. And now it's out in the world doing good things. It's making money for both the American Cancer Society and the Tiger Lily Foundation. And the name of the film is Tiger Lily, so it's perfect, really.
That is, I love how, the nuggets of, and I'm going to say our universe that just sends to you and you grab them. It's so much about what we talk about on Truth Behind the Truth, because, we always say that the message from the universe is always coming, and we so often miss it, not collectively, but we miss it. And those energy cells, I like to say downloads, are coming. And it's so good to how you develop the name of your production company by those downloads, the 4-leaf clover and the falling tree, and
Exactly.
because it's like it's an energy force around that, and it propels where you're going. Again, it's like Truth Behind the Truth. Because when we came up with the idea, it strikes so moving for people, because they stop and pause, and they've never heard anything saying that the truth behind the truth, because there is a truth behind each truth.
You know, and it's like, wow, how'd you come up with it? I said, well, it was a downloaded information. I said, let's go with it, and it will make it just has made a difference, and it's makes people stop and think, and I just love that, I really do. So, I know I'm rambling on here. There was a question I had about, so your line of film projects, okay, the things that you're producing. Do you have like a certain area that you like to stay within? Is it? Are you like more inspirational, faith based, or are you just kind of go what comes at you?
Well, I love films that are empowering and inspiring and uplifting. But I also love a good popcorn movie too.
Okay, gotcha.
One of the films we're working on is called Alive and Kicking, and it's wonderful because it's about senior citizens.
Okay.
And in this day and age with COVID, the elderly have been hit the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also the largest growing demographic in our country. Baby boomers make up the biggest demographic. And so this is a film basically that you're not done when you hit a certain age. You're still alive and kicking.
Yes.
And it takes place at an assisted living center, and there is romance amongst the seniors. There are sad stories. There are happy stories. It's a really wonderful film, and it's based on the work of P.K. Beville, who has been a geriatric clinician for over 30 years. She's the founder of Second Week Dreams, which is like a Make-A-Wish foundation for the elderly.
Yes.
And she's an inventor of the virtual dementia tour. And so, again, basing something on someone's real life's work and getting those stories out there is inspiring, and yet I think it's entertaining too. I think it's a popcorn movie too. So
wow, sure. I'm so inspired by everybody's work. I mean, so inspired, like you said, inspiring film. But I'm inspired about your work, and I look at everybody that I've had opportunity to meet, and we've had and the pleasure of having you guys a part of all of us. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and not knowing that because of Von's project, that she would bring us all together for some greater purposes. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing. It really is amazing.
For a reason.
Everything happens for a reason.
We're all supposed to connect. All the attraction brought us all together, I think.
Absolutely. And I want to also pay another compliment to you. We'll talk about we're going to go to another commercial in just a sec, but I want to also pay a sweet compliment to you, because the last day that we were on set, that was the day that I injured myself.
Oh, yeah.
And you were so sweet to me that particular day. I mean, oh my God, I was in so much pain.
You were such a trooper.
Oh my God, I was literally, I don't know how I did that. I mean, I really don't. I mean, that morning, it was just I don't know what I did in the shower that morning, but my whole leg shut down. And it was just, I was in so incredible pain. But I just want to thank you for being so sweet to me that day on set, because you kept making sure, you kept bringing me water, and they got to get you.
I hate to see anyone in pain, and
I know, right?
You and me both, because I'm telling you, right after we left that set, we went straight to Emory.
Straight to Emory,
I was like, oh my goodness. Whatever you did, I was even like scared. I'm like, I hope you didn't really injured.
Right.
I was, oh my goodness. But it worked out. Everything worked out to the greater good.
So what was the diagnosis, JB?
Well, it ended up being that because like I said, I leaned over the shower. You know how you wash your back extremities and what have you. And I leaned over and I came up and I heard something in the spine went. And what it did, it pressed on a nerve.
A disc or a nerve, okay.
Yeah, a nerve. And what happened, it just that particular nerve was one that they considered in the sciatica area.
Got it.
So it just shut down the whole leg. But literally after that, I mean, I was in the hospital for like almost 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were contemplating about trying to do surgery, at first, And then I had another, well, that's a whole other, so we'll get to that. Yeah. Although they said it was kind of going on at the same time. And then they finally released me, from the hospital, and they said, well, no, we don't want to do surgery, So they ended up doing a back infusion. I went to a pain specialist, and they put the needle in your back. So it opened up the disc.
Okay.
But it still is not right. It's still not right, because the front part of my shin area is still numb.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's still numb from it. So I don't know. Now that I'm out here in LA, I'm gonna see. Probably see a specialist at some point. Again, maybe they can figure out something. I don't want to have no back surgery. That's
Yeah.
no. But anyway, okay.
Very. Yeah.
Exactly. But no. But anyway, so that's what happened after.
Oh,
That.
I had no idea it was that bad. I'm sorry you went through all that.
Oh my God, it was. I didn't know either. I had no idea, But anyway, I got through it, so
The show must go on, right?
Exactly. Some way or the other, that was the day of it. Whatever that day, the show went on.
The show did go on that day.
I'm telling you, I am so good. So, in your projects, and I'm sorry. We need to go to commercial real quick. We'll come right back and we'll finish up with you. Okay.
Okay.
Guys, enjoy the commercial. We're back, and we want to tell you guys that. I'm sorry. Guys, sorry, get all excited again here. Guys, we'll be right back with you after this. Oh, shoot. Hang on. You got it? Hang on. I'm so excited I lost my train of thought. Okay. Guys, we'll be right back with you after this commercial message. And coming up, after the one who must have a place will be Mr. Omar Madden. We are so excited about having him on tonight's show as well. All right. We'll be right back with you after this commercial break.
Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and sweet sous-vide noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Guys, we're back. We are definitely back on here on Truth Behind the Truth.
Yeah.
It has been a wonderful night with a wonderful, lovely guest and our dear friend, Miss Heather Place.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I just love seeing you guys. I miss you guys.
Yes, it has been such a joy. But anyway, we want to talk to you a little bit more before we end the show tonight, just about where your projects are, where you are as an actor, okay? And then maybe you can leave some nuggets as a casting director and a producer, an EP like we are, and a producer on the acting community, and let them know what they need to do to be where we are, okay, or what we're doing, okay? So your project. So what are you doing in front of the camera right now?
Okay, well, I'm wearing a couple of hats on a couple different projects.
Okay.
I am producing and acting in Alive and Kicking, the project we just talked about. I'm the head nurse, head administrator of the assisted living center, and I'm also on the producing team. We just shot some test footage on it, and we are in the process of editing that. We've got an original composer we're working with. We're pitching the project. We're qualifying for the 181 for funding, and we're hoping to shoot that next year.
Okay.
I'm also on the producing team of a religious thriller called Forgotten Word. It's kind of a Da Vinci Code-esque. It's set in the Vatican, and that's going to be a big popcorn movie. And so we're trying to get funding for that as well. And I'm also working on a faith-based film called Woods is Not a Flower. And I'm on the producing team of that here in Charlotte with KP Films. We have Alfonso Freeman, Morgan Freeman's son, is going to be the lead in that.
Wow, phenomenal.
He is fabulous. We just did a test shoot on that as well because we're trying to qualify for the 181 for Rose. And so I had the pleasure of working with Alfonso Freeman right before COVID hit, actually. We did some filming on that, and he's just like his dad in so many ways. He favors him and talks like him. So if you can picture Morgan Freeman 20 years ago, that reminds me of Alfonso. So that it's cool that we have him on board that film. So there's a lot going on.
So the film that you guys are you going to guys film in Italy for the one about the Vatican, or are you going to be on locational? Cinema drama, I would say.
We're going to be creative with the location. We want to film it stateside, but we might do either stock photography or a second unit for exteriors over there. We're not sure how we're going to do that yet, but we hope to film the bulk of it here in the States. We do have an international casting crew assembled for that. The writer is from England. Both the writer of the novel and the writer of the script are in England right now. And we have some actors that we're assembling. We have an actress who's already on board, and it's going to be an international.
That is beautiful. I love, because you struck an excitement because I love Rome. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I can't wait to take him to Rome. I mean, I'm just they say Paris is the city of lights, but I'm telling you, Rome is just so breathtaking. It's just such a aura about Rome. I love Rome. I love Paris too when I was there, but Rome is just like my second home. I would like to say. I would love to have a little chateau in Rome at some point.
There you go. First, right?
Absolutely.
Chateau in Rome.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was about to ask you about the Mykonos, and that is, isn't that Mykonos?
I think so.
Okay. So I'm
Mykonos is Greece. But
Greece, that's right. That's right.
My bad. I do know that.
they're both
together.
and Athens, both.
Exactly.
The cradle of civilization, basically.
Right. I should answer that because I've been to Greece too. But it's like,
I love Greece too. I love Italy and Greece. I love them both.
But you can get those places because they're so almost in the same, they're intertwined. So
they're right there in the Mediterranean. So
that's true. That ancient Mediterranean culture. And they both have the mythology. There's the Greek mythology, the Roman mythology, and
yes. We could go on about that. So tell us as we're wrapping up the show. Tell us, give the inspiring actors. I'm sure that hopefully they've been inspired tonight about all that we've talked about in the production and what we brought up, but kind of give them a little solid word about that, from your point.
I think we talked about it earlier, but I'll start the point again. If you're an actor and you want to work, then create something for yourself to do.
Yes.
Whether you're writing a short film that you can star in, or you're writing a play, or you're writing scenes that you can put up on YouTube, whatever you want to do and you want to put out there, you can create it. You can create your own content and you can produce it yourself and get it out there. And I would suggest that as opposed to sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, or waiting for an audition. Get out there and make something happen for yourself, and in doing so, you're working at your craft.
Yes.
And you're doing things that people can see.
Yes. Wonderful. I love that. I like that. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you guys, be encouraged. Like I say, it's hard work. There's a lot of sacrifices you have to do to make it happen, but you can make it happen. You know what I mean? You really can. We are living in a day and age that you have to create your own content. We're out here in LA, but our content is between LA and Atlanta, and now Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
You got to
do it from anywhere, and it is a virtual world now, and that's one thing that COVID has taught us. Yes. That we can get on Zoom and we can do table reads on Zoom and we can interact with each other and network on Zoom, and even the film festivals now are being virtual.
That's true.
But we can still network. Whether we're on our laptops, we can connect with other creatives.
That's true. That is so true. Well, Heather, we want to thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you for that time that you have pulled aside in all of your busy schedule. And when you have projects that are ready, typically, or whatever, you have your posters or whatever, send them to me because we'll put it up on the Truth Behind the Truth page and we'll promote it from that particular aspect as well. So we want to get the word out there. Hey, this is what we do. Hey, this is a healthy community. Truth Behind Truth is out here to bring the truth behind the truth. Hey,
truth. I love it.
At the end of the day, thank you so much for being a part of us tonight, and we're looking forward to having you back on that big Zoom, December 13th. Oh my God, it's going to be so great to have all the actors together and producers and creative designs and all that stuff back together again.
But you know what? I cannot wait for us to get all back on that set.
Yes.
One more time.
Yes.
Because that is going to be live. That's going to give us all what we need.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's all of it.
That happens. We need to see happening. We'll be back together again soon on set.
Absolutely. Darling, love you so much. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you for being here with us as we end with each one of our guests. So we're gonna say, whatever.
He always do the white comment, and we do the whatever.
Thank you guys. It was so good seeing you, and I appreciate you having me on your show.
Thank you as well. Guys, we'll be right back with Heather Omar. Enjoy this commercial. Thanks, Heather.
Bye.
Bye.
Green colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and sweet Suze with noodles, while geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. It's lovely.
All right, hey guys, we are back, and welcome back to Truth Behind the Truth.
Yeah.
We want to again welcome our YouTube family,
Yeah.
our soon-to-be Instagram family, of course, our Facebook family for being a part of us as much as you have and continuing your support. Make sure if you have not shared us, please share the Truth Behind the Truth page
And subscribe.
and subscribe and
Yes.
subscribe again. We need
Yes.
we need that YouTube page to
Yes.
grow and grow and grow. Tell your friends about us, guys. Share the word. I mean, because Truth Behind the Truth is out here to make a difference in what talk shows are about. As our slogan is, the new face behind talk shows.
Yeah.
That we are. Okay,
That's right.
helping
Literally.
yeah,
Literally. New faces.
new faces,
New faces.
behind talk shows.
Yeah.
That is
And showing true authenticity too.
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, that is our motto, helping humanity find the beauty of authenticity, and we strive to do that, and we do hope that we are reaching you in major ways. We've been in the process of our series of shows, which was our Actors Symposium, giving actors an opportunity to be raw and transparent for you. We've been loving it. You guys have just enjoyed Miss Heather Plays. It was such a great time having Heather on the show tonight as well.
Yeah.
Now we're going to bring you another, this dual show tonight, okay? Another one of our dear heart friends. I mean, I've known this brother from way back on TPS, Tyler Perry Studios. We met there. I'm sure we'll be able to talk about that. And, and he's become a dear friend of yours as well. He is a Broadway on the way celebrity. Okay, he has starred in, I have been a part of the company of Beauty and the Beast in Chicago, and Five Guys Named Mo in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He is a singing artist. He has been with major singing
He's just a
groups.
triple threat.
He's just a triple threat. I
Triple
can't keep going. But and he will talk about that as well. So let me stop rambling, okay?
Yeah.
And bring to the show our dear friend, Mr. I'll call the mill doctor, but Mr. Doctor, I know, right? Omar Madden. Woo!
I'll take the doctor.
All right, hey.
Thank you.
Omar.
Hey guys.
See you, sir.
I just remember you without the mustache. I don't know. The mustache is making you more distinguished.
I know I'm ready to shave it off, I want to keep it young.
Hey. It looks good, my friend. Very distinguished.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me tell you, when we first met in your acting class, nurse acting class,
Yes, exactly.
we were clean shaven. I can recall I was clean shaven.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's like all of a sudden we just started, Omar, we just started growing facial hair all of a sudden. So
We're growing up too fast.
yeah. Oh wow. Oh wow.
I have to say before we dig into it, Omar has been really, really special to me all these years. We've known each other probably almost 7 years now at this particular point in time, as we've been talking about, we were talking with Heather on the show, that the universe always lines up specifics in meetings, how you meet people. And, we were actually on the set at TPS, I guess. What show were we working on?
The first, I can't remember. I know it was 2 or 3 times, and it was 2 different shows.
Yeah.
Have not.
We did, okay, right. And then the diner show, wasn't it? The diner show that he did? Yeah.
Woo!
No, anyway,
It was so long ago. I don't remember what the other.
yeah, but I remember that we were sitting in the so-called green room,
What was the green room? Y'all how was the spill the beans?
the so-called green room.
Yeah.
What was the green room?
The green room was a bunch of people sitting around waiting to go on set. Okay.
Hold the room.
The green room. Okay, we're gonna do the green room.
Okay, right. Green room.
But I remember that you weren't in a good place at that particular point in time, you know. And I had said to him, that's how we started vibing and connecting. We started talking, and I didn't realize what a great talent that I had sitting before me, you know, because you're finding out something about somebody. And he had begun to share, and he was at the point, he was like, man, I'm done with this. I put up so much into it. And I just said, you better not give up. And I told him straight to his face. I said, you better not give up. And I knew that it was a word coming in from the universe, you know, and it was so profound. I can't remember all what I said, but he actually started to tear up, you know, because it hit him at the right point. And I was like, man, I was so glad to be used at that point for him, you know, in his life, and inspire him to move forward, because there's a kind of you get to it as an actor, you're like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. I'm not getting the breaks that I want, and the list goes on. But to bring the story to a close, it's just that we were connected at that point, you know, to inspire each other. But I was so grateful that I was able to inspire him to keep pushing, you know. And then after he did that, things start shifting, you know, he made adjustments in his life, and then the world starts changing for him, you know. It doesn't happen rapidly, but at the end of the day, he didn't give up, you know. And then he lands Beauty and the Beast. And then he lands Five Guys More. Then he lands being a singer with the touring band that he's been with, you know. And to the point, just at a point about being on Broadway. Oh my God, I can't wait. I cannot wait to get that text to say, hey, you know what? They opened Broadway back up. And the audition I had for Hamilton, I am in the lead cast. I can't wait. Because guess what? We're going to be right there. Oh, I'm definitely gonna be there too. I'm gonna say, you know, we're gonna be loud. I'll be loud. I'll be clapping. That's my little brother, y'all.
I will be loud as well.
Exactly. But anyway, so share with us about your beginnings, your humble beginnings, you know, and as developing the wonderful talent. When did you just start discovering that you wanted to be in this industry?
Well, I've been singing since I was 4. My parents were musicians, and my mom had brought me and my sisters up in a gospel group.
Okay.
4 years old.
And
so from then on, we were singing any and everywhere. From then, but I knew I wanted to be in the industry. I knew my junior or sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
When I did my first musical. It was Clue the Musical, and I played Mrs. White, and I just remember that whole experience, and I was like, yeah, this is for me, you know. Like Harvey was singing and then acting, and then it was just the freedom to play around and to have this whole this different world, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, that's when I decided, okay, yeah. This is one of the first in my life.
Wow.
So since then, that's kind of been my focus. I've never wanted to do anything else.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I think after then, I went into the military for a little while, and then I went to college.
Okay.
Happy Veterans Day.
Oh yeah, happy belated Veterans Day.
Oh yeah. Sure. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and then I went to school for theater, and then I went back home for a little bit, and then I moved to Atlanta. One night, I told my mom I wanted to be an actor. She was like, well, you might want to choose something else. Well, okay. So the next morning, I got on a Greyhound bus and moved to
Atlanta. When she said do something else, you knew then you needed to be an actor.
I mean, to me, it was just more so I wasn't really asking for permission. It was It was my way of telling her, this is what I'm going to do.
Okay, exactly.
You know, and hopefully you support it. You know, but my mom knows that's just who I am.
Right.
But yeah, I got on the Greyhound bus and went to Atlanta and didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
I knew it had to happen.
So what made you? 2 questions here. So do you feel? And I guess I didn't know. And you may have told me about you being in the military. What branch of the military did you?
It was the Army.
The Army.
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Ooh, look at it. You look like you don't look too happy about that.
Look, I respect any and everybody who goes through that process.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who finished my contract.
Okay.
So I never boast about me being in the military. I rarely tell people.
Okay.
But it was an experience. However, you know, I know there's people out there who passed and who are still in this. So, yeah, I was in the Army for sure.
Do you feel like some of the disciplines that you learned that maybe in that short time frame helped you gain more discipline in your acting career, or did it? Do you think?
No.
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 Okay.
But you know, there's a lesson in everything, you know.
Right.
So there's things I definitely learned.
Right.
But I think more so, if anything, it kind of made me realize that I wanted to act more than anything. Like, what am I doing? Why am I here? I'm supposed to be acting. What am I?
Okay.
That type of thing. But yeah, you know, it's still an experience.
Good. So did you? I mean, so what made you choose Atlanta versus going to LA in terms of launching your career?
Well, one, I knew it was cheaper.
Okay.
And two, I knew it was becoming a scene. As far as music, it's always, well, since I was born, it's always been a scene. You know, with L.A. Reid and David Face,
right?
Stuff like that. So I knew if I wanted to do anything with music, that would be a place. And I wanted to become a serious actor, and it was growing to become that.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. You know,
Okay.
With LA, it was. I don't think I would have been as prepared. Because LA is a different market to me. I believe. I guess in my mind, I was thought Atlanta is somewhere you can start from the bottom.
Okay.
In LA, you should be as prepared as possible, you know. But at least that's what I've always thought about it, you know.
Right. Right. Same here.
You know. But yeah, so and again, it's closer to home.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Okay.
And I also knew people in Atlanta, you know, it just made sense.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I understand where he was coming from with that, because when I moved to Atlanta, it was almost on a whim, because I had just graduated college. And I thought about it, you know, I don't think I need to move too far away from home. It's cheaper. You know, like you, I don't think I would have had the discipline of moving into the LA market, because in LA, you just don't know who you might end up being with or dealing with.
Right.
So, you know, it's just when Atlanta seemed like a safe haven in a way for those who believe in staying within that, you know, I don't know, it just has a southern type of hospitality to it that you know, you're used to. But going into, you know, you started off as a musician into acting. Now, was it hard to make that switch, you know, to go into that realm? Because, you know, as a musician, as a singer, you're a natural. But as acting come into play, it does take on a different type of qualification.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go through all the, you know, the character breakdown, the analysis, to, you know, at least you have great reading comprehension. Which we know a lot of musicians, and I'm not naming no names, cannot read nor read notes, but we're not gonna put you in that scenario, because we know you can do either one. But it's just the fact that acting is so it's to music you can flow with it, but with character you have to stay disciplined within the characteristics of that character. So wasn't it kind of hard for you to make that, you know, transition?
I think it all happened perfectly, meaning my introduction to theater was through musical theater. So it made it a little less difficult. But, you know, becoming older and the longer I'm in the industry, I realize it's almost the same, meaning it's both of them. It's a muscle that you're going to have to train yourself, and it's going to take practice and practice and practice. There's so many technicalities to singing. You know, of course, we hear people that just born, you know, come through the church and they can just blow without even thinking. Right. But there are people who can act without thinking. You know, to them, doing the work is second nature. So they can look at a script and blah 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 blah, blah do the work and get on set like they just walk in. You know. So I think now I'm kind of getting to a place where it's kind of second nature. Still work, definitely. Both of them. Even singing, I do probably 1,000 videos before I post this one little 2-second clip on Instagram.
Well, you almost put me in the mind of Sammy Davis Jr. because even Sammy Davis being a dancer, being a singer, being an actor, you come with that qualification of the old guard, as we would call it. People forget, the old stars have to have that type of qualification.
Well, you just might have to release something into the universe.
I'm receiving it.
He may be doing the Sammy Davis story. Great things happen from when we speak things behind the truth. So there may be an audition coming up for the Sammy Davis Jr. story, and our dear brother may be the lead opportunity for that story that either it's a Broadway play or either a major cinema. I don't think it was you brought it up. Truth behind the truth is the truth behind the truth, and we are a spiritually connected show. So I'm just saying. I felt something.
Put it out there. I'm receiving it. I'm putting it out there with you.
Okay, I felt something when you said that. That's beautiful. It's gonna happen. Just like Sean, when we spoke Sean being the next Black Panther. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. Tell me this, real quick. So auditioning. So what did you find the difference in auditioning between say what you did for Five Guys and then what you did for Big? How was the audition process on Broadway? What do you feel like you had to step up your game in? What happened?
Dancing.
Oh wow. Okay.
That was the most, and by the time I got to Five Guys Named Mo, which was the last original show I did, I still had to work hard, but they trusted me more so in the dancing, so I didn't have to do like a dancing audition. They just said, "Can you sing? Let's hear you sing. You got it." That type of thing. But I remember my first time in New York, I got like 2 or 3 callbacks for Motown the Musical. And I was making, the callbacks and callbacks. Oh my God, like this is crazy. My first audition in New York, and I'm getting all these callbacks. And then it was the dance call, the final callback. And I'm like, oh. And certain people were already in the show. They were like, just, hey, videos are already out there. Just do your homework, do your research. You're good. I'm like, okay, no problem. I got this. Then you get in there, and it is no joke. No joke. Wow. It is, I'm going to go over this once. I'm going to do it step by step the second time. Third time, it's on you, And I'm just like, what? Doing pirouettes and all this stuff and jumping and flipping, knees on the ground. I'm just like, what is this?
Okay.
And so that was kind of an eye-opener. Okay. It was like, hey, I mean, you're definitely talented, but you can't rest on just thinking you had it without doing work. You got to do work. You got to do your homework and study.
Yes.
So again, I think that was the hardest part, and it's still something I'm still working on.
Okay.
Even though I love dancing, but
So before COVID, were you taking a lot of dance classes?
In Atlanta, before I moved to New York, the whole summer I was in ballet, musical theater, and jazz.
Okay. Have you taken any since you've been in New York?
Oh.
Okay.
No, as soon as I got here, I literally only had like 2.5 months.
Right.
Before everything shut down.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was. Ooh.
So what has COVID did for you? Especially being in I guess the epicenter of everything. When it first broke out and stuff. So what have you found yourself doing that? And firstly, probably getting to a point another shutdown in New York too.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I might end up having to go back to Georgia, or
I
don't know if I can take another shutdown.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But that's the importance of just meditating in the future. Just manifesting great things. Fear doesn't exist. So, but anyway, there's a lot of things that's done, and it's allowed me to kind of think outside the box.
Okay.
Because I know usually sometimes we'll get in the habit of waiting for things, like waiting for phone calls or our agent to get us something.
Right.
But now we know there's no phone calls coming.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? Not only to pay the bills, but more so, to let go of that, that artist in you, that wants to get out. So I've definitely been writing stuff in journals. I've also thought of other things that I'm interested in.
Okay.
Not even as a backup, but just to do things that I like. So right now I'm in real estate school.
Okay.
Just something to fill the time, and to venture out, until New York claps back.
Exactly.
But yeah, and it's giving me a lot of time to think. And now I'm getting to a point where, okay, well, now I'm starting to work out again and starting to try to condition my body to get back and prepared for audition season. I'm sure it's going to come.
Right, exactly.
Sound like some people need to follow a regimen ourselves and conditioning our bodies.
Yeah, because I don't want to be thrown off when I get that email.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, they want to see you.
Right.
Can you wait like 2 more months?
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to
with no pad.
Right.
No pad.
Exactly.
I'm just with an unpacked.
Right. My resume says 155. I come in there totally different.
How tall are you? Oh, fine. You about 5'9"?
5'9", yeah.
Okay. I was, oh my goodness, I don't know. 180 is very comfortable in my rim, but okay. 180 is comfortable for me, but to probably be camera thin, 150 probably would be my best friend. Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with Doctor, as he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. With him, we're so enjoying it tonight. Guys, we'll be right back on this commercial break.
Twinkle ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and switches with noodles, while geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things ever. People back on the land.
Hey guys, and we're back. Thanks for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth. And I always want to welcome our YouTube family as well as our Facebook family and our soon-to-be Instagram family as well. Want to remind you guys that we will be wrapping up our Actor Symposium on this Sunday, December 13th with a big Zoom with everybody. We'll be back. We'll have our wonderful guest, Dr. Omar Ahmed will be back with us on that particular show with all of our previous guests that have been on, and that surprise guest for everybody for that particular show. So mark your calendars, guys. We want a big show with all of you guys, tuning into that. That's going to be December 13th, Sunday. We'll have our regular show on that Saturday, which is the 12th. But that we're going to be doing 2 shows that weekend. Okay, so by December 13th, we're going to wrap up the Actors of Both. I'm so excited about that.
I am very excited because, to be honest with you, you don't know who our secret guest is.
Oh, I know, right? That's going to be so
We're trying to get this specific person.
Yes.
We're gonna,
we're going to surprise everybody.
It's happening. It's already happened.
It is.
Yes.
Already happened.
Yes.
So back with our wonderful guest, as I said, Dr. Omar Madden.
Come on.
Yeah.
So tell us, how has it been just like living in New York? I know you've been there pretty much still during the COVID, but when you first got there, how was it? What did you kind of like when you first stepped in Manhattan and saw the lights of the theater? What did you get a kind of a rush? What happened?
When I tell you, from the time I drove my car out of Georgia,
okay, ooh, I know how that felt.
already I felt 500 pounds lighter.
Yes.
But what is that? I'm sorry for interrupting, but what is that? Is that like because of the why is it that when you leave Atlanta, and I've noticed this too every now and then when we go off to Kansas City or go some other place we're trying to go, it's like you feel a little light. What is that? Is it?
I know how I felt when we were in California. I was like, it's been a long time coming. I was so glad we gonna leave in Atlanta.
Whenever you're somewhere, well, for me, I think whenever I'm somewhere for a long time, I feel complacent. So whenever,
exactly,
to me, it's leaving the border of somewhere you've always been. It kind of signifies change and freedom, and you just feel like you're on a different path now. So to me, it was just like, oh yes, now I can go to the next chapter. I can really look back.
Right.
But being in New York I love New York, even through the COVID stuff. I don't mind wearing the mask. I don't mind being in New York through all this stuff. It's still a beautiful place. The first time I moved here, I lived in Brooklyn, and already things started happening within the first month. I had saw Hamilton maybe 2 to 3 times, which is my first time seeing a Broadway show.
Wow.
Which was amazing.
Excuse me for interrupting. You said the first time seeing a Broadway show? Really? Man. Okay, but go ahead. I'm just surprised.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I feel like regional shows and tours. Yeah, as far as
actually being on Broadway itself. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so I was dealing with that, and then I started getting auditions. Maybe the 3rd week I was here, I started getting auditions back to back, and then in February, a New York agent had saw videos, and then my one of my best friends, who's on tour or who was on tour, agent was like, I want to sign him. So I was like, wow, like okay, well I'll give it some thought. And they know that about 2 days later, I was signed to a New York agency, and from then on, he's been, giving me auditions. I mean, it's been a blessing, from the first day I moved here until COVID, actually.
Right.
That's kind of what's keeping me here, knowing that it literally, the doors is already open,
Right.
And so I don't want to leave here, and make it. I don't want it to be a process of moving back,
Right.
Just stay put and kind of prepare myself and keep myself conditioned, because I know I'll make it here.
Oh, most definitely. And just that word that you just said, that you don't make it here. It's like the song says, you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. It's up to you. Omar, it's up to you.
I see you already making it because of the fact that you have been out there doing the work. I went to school at Alabama State University, and we took a trip to New York my last year with in that school, and we went to see alumni who are working. We had met a woman who was doing the Lion King. She was doing it for more than 20 years. It looked like. But the fact is that, you know, she was telling us, you know, you have to be on your grind in New York as an actor. You have to, especially when you're doing Broadway. You know, she was telling us about, you know, not being sick because you might just stand there and might take that only job that you have. So you might not need to be sick on certain nights. But it's just the fact that you are out there doing what they were telling us we need to do. And it, whatever that's going on, you are really the representation of what acting and what actors should be doing in this moment. Auditioning, getting yourself together, you know, meditating, you know, looking, already having that main focus of knowing that you're going to make it. One thing I want to know is, I would want to come back to Atlanta now.
Well, we're not there anyway. So
we're not there anyway, but I don't think Atlanta, I mean, even though I feel kind of, you went to Tyler Perry Studios on us and even tell us for going to the opening of the Tyler Perry's new studio. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, now who gave you that invite? What happened? How did you get the hookup?
So I know the vice president of Tyler Perry Studios. He came to see Five Guys Nemo.
Okay.
And it was a thing of it. I can't even answer because I'm not him. I'm not Tyler Perry. Because again, Tyler Perry sending these invites. So I still to this day don't know how I got one. I just know that I was in the number and I was there because it was meant for me to be there, you know. Like him and Hamilton, and I'm always quoting Hamilton. But you know, they say in the room where it happens, it's like I was in the room where it was happening, you know. And even then TD Jakes was saying, I wish I could remember it verbatim, but pretty much he was saying, you know, you're here because you're supposed to be here in this moment. Everybody that's in this room, you are here because you are literally supposed to be here. This is your moment. This is for you.
Yes.
So, yeah, I can't even answer the question of how or what happened. When, you know, all I know is I was told to be here at this time. So I showed up and it was a 2-day event, and I'll never forget the people I met, talked to. By the end of the night, people that I look up to, and that I grew up watching the movies, that were literally coming to me. Hey Omar, how you doing? What you drinking? What you doing? And I'm just like, oh what? Like you're literally talking to me right now. Like and then Sunday we had the Sunday brunch, like church and then brunch, and it was like a family thing, you know. Like, you know, celebrities coming up to me and giving me a hug. Hey Omar, it's so good to see you again. And I was like, where am I right now? You know, but again, it was definitely it was definitely a life changing.
I'm just in this wild moment with you at this point. So I can just to imagine, you know, and how we started off the show tonight, you know, talk about 7 years ago, you were sitting there, you know what I'm saying, contemplating about not ever doing what you want to do, your heart's desire again. You meet this younger guy than you. And he encouraged you, but 7 years later, you're standing in the presence and making connections with some of the world's greatest actors and producers and phenomenal people on this planet. That has got to be like I can't even imagine where your being was at that particular point in time, you know, because I would have just been beside myself, you know, at the end of the day. But it just is so beautiful to see how our Creator organizes our lives. You know what I'm saying? And for such a time as that, such a time as this, you know, I'm getting emotional about it. I'm sorry.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, because you know, it's so much about what we're doing with Truth Behind the Truth. And when you know something, how I, in that moment, in that time, in that second, that I knew something for your life, Omar, as I know something for our life. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it was a 7-year process to get back to where you started out to find out how great you are. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know you are great. You are among the greats. And I think if I remember singing at that particular point in time, at that table, I was saying how great you were. How great a talent you were. How great you were going to be in this industry. Man, oh God.
Yeah.
Woo. That's good. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just so beautiful how the energy of our universe is, and our God that orchestrates stuff. Man, I say, as I told you on that day, and I say this in our humbly, I said, it's a pleasure having you in my life.
Yeah. Wow.
But I told you on that day, and I didn't know you. But I said, it's a pleasure being to have you in life because of your greatness, because your connective piece. Man, oh wow. Go ahead, I gotta take a minute. Go ahead, you guys.
But that in itself was a moment because when I saw you, I was like, oh wow, he really got in. And that was like the biggest ticket in town at that time because I was working CBS at Midtown, and that's what everybody was talking about. But to see somebody that you have worked with one scene in an acting class who got on the red carpet, I was like, okay, all right. But it's just, I wanted to ask you, seeing all of these actors and actresses that we have inspired to look up to, did it give you a boost? Because I know that was right before you moved to New York, but did that give you the confidence to say, I'm moving, I'm going towards my goal? What drive, did that give you some type of drive just to be in that room, in that time, in that moment,
Yes. I don't want to say yes and no. It was more so I didn't think about it while I was there because it was so much to process. Because, it was just kind of like, as soon as I got on the red carpet, here's Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen, like, right behind me, talking and then waving at me like, hey, sweetie. And I'm just like, what? So it's so much to take in the moment. But when I look back on it, there are so many messages spoken, by T. Jakes and Tyler Perry and, all these other great artists and celebrities and legends. And I think those speeches kind of gave me that, like, reassurance that I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Not that I ever really questioned it, but, in this industry, we all have those moments where it's like, am I, and even though it's for you, sometimes it's like, is it worth it? Whoa, good gracious, and I think that moment that was like, it's worth it, like,
wow.
And not for the glitz and glamour, but it's more so, I can't describe the energy in the room on both of those days. I can't even describe it. It's something that is, wonderful. But yeah, so I guess in a way, it kind of gave me a boost or, some type of reassurance that, I was, I don't regret telling my mom, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm gonna do,
That's awesome. Guys, I'm still marinating in this moment. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back with Omar and talk a little bit about what he's going to his next endeavors while he's on Broadway. All right, guys, we'll be right back after this commercial.
Cream colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and sweet Sue's with noodles, while geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight to Truth Behind the Truth. My gosh, this has been this show tonight. Honestly, my insides are still so excited. Before we went to break, and talking to our dear brother, Dr. Omar Madden. I mean, it really is. And just want to remind you guys, thank you guys for our Facebook family that tunes in with us every week, and of course our YouTube family, and soon to be our Instagram family. Yeah. And guys, we're also growing into other channels of connecting pieces to us, but we'll be sharing that with you in the coming year, in 2021. Boy, Truth Behind Truth, hey, I'm telling you better look out for us. Yes. At that point. But back to you, Omar. I mean, man, what you shared with me before the break, I'm just still in awe with that. I really am. I'm honored, man. I'm honored that you're even on the show tonight, because this is such again, as you will probably reiterated, a full circle moment in all of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is just, I mean, telling you, our creator just raining on us today. Yeah. But I know you were about to say something before I cut you off before we went to break. So go ahead and say about a full circle moment.
Oh no. I was again, it was so much going on there, but I remember being on the red carpet, and you know how red carpets are. You have the different, people having the interviews and things like that. And I look over, and I don't know if you guys remember, but I posted on Facebook some years ago where I was with a reporter in the car, and I was singing songs, and it was on the news. And the lady who was telling the story, she was on the red carpet.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the video, the guy who was in the reporter that was in the car with me, I know he was saying, Omar needs help, choosing a song for an audition, and sing these 3 songs or whatever. And then it went back to her, telling the story. But then I remember looking at her on the red carpet. I'm like, this is insane. This lady literally told the story about me looking for a song for an audition and wanting people to help me in Georgia. And now I'm looking at her like, wow, I am sitting here on the red carpet looking at her on the opposite side of the tape. That is, to me, I was like, to me, that was just insane, but yeah, again, I know that'll be, and even though, because there were hundreds of celebrities there, right. And I always hold dear that whether I met them or not, that'll always be a moment that we have together. Yeah, because all of us were there together and experienced the whole thing together.
Yes.
So very special.
That is so powerful.
Let me ask you another question. How was it to work with? You worked on an episode of Star too.
Lee Daniels.
Yes. How was it to be on set with Queen Latifah? Just to be on the set in that moment, because I remember you posted that on social media.
I don't even know how, because I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, well, one I will say it was definitely a learning experience.
Yes, it was.
Which everything is, but I remember going on set after hair and makeup and things, and I went on set, and everyone just we're actually on the set of where we shot the scene, and everybody's just talking to these Lee Daniels and Queen Latifah coming downstairs, and I'm panicking. I'm like, okay, well, let me try to hide or just like not make eye contact, just act like I'm in with the group of people just talking. And here comes Queen Latifah, tapping me on my shoulder, hey Omar, and gives me a hug. And I'm like, where did this come from? How do you know my name?
Right.
Like, and she gave me the big hug, and she's like, call me La. And I'm like, what? Like, Queen Latifah? It was insane. But yeah, we shot the scene plenty of times and all that stuff. And there was some acting things that I learned some techniques while being on set. Yeah, that was an amazing experience. I'm so glad I got to work with Lee Daniels. Hopefully I get to work with Lee Daniels again.
We don't claim that. That's another point. This is a night of pulling the aspiration.
That's what it's all about.
It is. I mean, we are so in agreement with all of this. The Sammy Davis Jr. story, okay? The lead in Hamilton. You're soon covered lips. I'm telling you. We are so in agreement. Yeah, what point you want to make?
Well, you know what? When you are an actor and you're in this field of film or theater and you meet these people, I did background work on Salmon. When I saw people like Carmen, Oprah, I didn't have that now, but you had these interactions. I didn't have that, but just to see from a distance and to see how they worked, it was inspiring. It's awe-inspiring because you see these people not in the process of their work, but just to see the finishing project, to see the finishing, situation. But the fact is that just watching them at work and understanding that you have looked up to these people for years and you've seen them close up is like, wow. And to be honest with you, Omar, to have been in that room that night, I bet you was just gaping, not even knowing that you were probably gaping, but just feeling like this is a moment. But it's just that's every actor's dream to see that inspiration come to full life. And as every young actor who is coming into this business, if you keep working, if you keep persevering, you're going to meet these inspirations. It might be you on the set.
Right. Well,
yes.
Here's the thing, and I think this is for the three of us, at this point, and you brought it to such great light, Omar, about all of the legends and the wonderful people that work at Calibre City. But even what we're doing right now, there's a group of people that are going to say, "Hey, aren't you Omar? Aren't you Omar? Man, you've done this. I saw you on Broadway.
Yeah.
I saw you. Oh my God, you were in the Sammy Davis Jr. story. Man, you were phenomenal. Like, JB, aren't you on that TV show? The Truth Behind the Truth. Aren't you the Truth Behind the Truth show?
You never know.
The same light, the same building. The same opportunity we are building and working on right now, for either the next or the present generation. These same people. I mean, at ASU, the actors we've had on this show. I mean, we've had, some great working actors on our show right now.
Besides you, Omar, you in that field.
In that field. But we think about when Coco was here, and Keith was here. And they were all like, guys, we were really excited to be on your show.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And what you're doing toward that, and Jonathan and Alyssa and Mama D and Tara, all these people that, gosh, it's you're under the same environment, So we're all here for a purpose. To get greater and greater and greater. I'll tell you, 2021, y'all talk about 2020 was not what it was supposed to be. But one of the things that we did, as we said, we kept 2020 vision, okay? And in that 20/20 vision, it may not look like you think it's supposed to be, but if you allow your eyes to adjust, you'll always see your future. Ooh, there you go. Wow, there's a word. There's a word. If you allow your eyes to adjust, you'll always see your future. Man, gosh. Okay. Say your inspiration to the acting community that you'd like to share from where you are, and I know where you're going, and just the thing that you feel they need to do in order to stick in there and be hard and be hardcore.
And it's something that I'm still working on, still learning myself. But I will say, if at all possible, try to keep yourself grounded in some type of foundation spiritually, because all the things that I've manifested were deliberate, meaning me meditating in the mornings and affirmations and things like that that I do in the mornings, or that I used to do. I was writing those things down, and I kept my mind focused on those things. So if you could just keep your mind focused on your goals and staying grounded, and always speaking positive to yourself, it's literally a matter of time before the things that we want to happen, if it makes any sense.
Wow, that makes sense. Wow.
Yeah.
Well said.
That's my advice. That's my advice.
Well said. Yeah. Man, Omar, thank you so much for tonight. I mean,
thank you guys,
for making this a part of your life.
Yeah.
And brother, thank you for being a part of my life and our life, in such a deep way. My brothers always say, I'm so proud of you. And I'm looking forward to all of the great things. Looking forward to that Sammy Davis Jr. story.
Sammy Davis, Gregory Hines,
coming, all of it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking for the text message to say that you have landed, the role on the lead role on Broadway. Once the great way has opened back, the great light way. They changed it, and they're not calling it the white way anymore. No, they changed it to the great light way now. So open back up, and all that. And then of course, you have a home in our home. When you need to get to LA, that we told you that all. Hey, don't let the audition keep you from being and coming to LA to audition because you got a place. That's right. You don't have a couch, you got a room. That's right.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
You got a room. So, but brother, thank you so much tonight, guys. I hope you have been so inspired by our moments tonight. First of all, with our wonderful actor Heather Place and what she's doing in the Carolinas, and then tonight with our dear brother Omar Madden, what he's doing in New York, and the great things that are on the horizon for him as well, and his deposits that he's put on Truth Behind the Truth tonight. It has been such an inspiring night. Omar, man, like we do with everybody to lead the show. Well, Omar.
I lied.
Well, Omar. And we love you. Come on out here to see us. We plan to be hopefully in New York in February if things go well. So, we'll definitely be doing dinner and all that good stuff. Yeah. And if you got something going on here on the West Coast, you got our numbers, call us. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Love y'all.
And we love you too, dearly, 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 dearly. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth tonight. We will be back with you again on next week. What time? 9 p.m. East Coast time. 8 p.m. Central time, and 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Pacific time. Thank you, YouTube family, our Facebook family, and our Instagram family. Guys, we love you. Keep sharing, like. And the main thing we didn't talk about tonight is get that T-shirt. Oh, get that T-shirt, that Truth Behind the Truth T-shirt.
Get a T-shirt.
Get T-shirt. Yeah, Christmas time. Yeah, it's a great Christmas. Yeah. Okay. Get that T-shirt. All right. Go to the Truth Behind the Truth page. Just scroll down so you get the PayPal section. Yeah. It's right there waiting for you to click on and buy that T-shirt. All right. Y'all have a wonderful night again. Thank you for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth. Thank you again, Omar.
Thank you all.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Bye.